Ever wondered about the significance of shaking off dust from your feet as mentioned in the Bible? This seemingly simple act carries a depth of meaning, particularly in the context of Matthew chapter 10, verse 14. Here we find Jesus instructing his disciples on how to react when their message is not welcomed or heard. The directive, quite symbolic in nature, is, "And if anyone will not receive you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet when you leave that house or town." This wasn't just a random statement. It was rooted in the cultural practice of that era. Shaking the dust off one's feet was a symbolic gesture, signifying that they were leaving behind the rejection and the responsibility for the consequences of not accepting the message. In essence, it was a way to move on without carrying any burden of hurt or negativity. Jesus, through this instruction, was guiding his disciples not to be disheartened or discouraged by rejection. The underlying message was to stay focused, continue sharing the word, and not to take it personally if the message was not received. It was a reminder that they had done their part. The richness of this verse extends to us today, reminding us that not everyone will understand or accept our message or ideas. It encourages us to let go of negativity, keep moving forward, and continue our mission with a positive attitude. A simple act, yet one that holds a weighty symbolic meaning. But this verse is more than just a symbolic gesture. It carries a profound message. In the heart of Matthew chapter 10, verse 14, Jesus is teaching his disciples, and by extension, all of us, a powerful lesson about forgiveness, resilience, and moving forward with a positive mindset. This verse isn't merely about shaking the dust off one's feet. It's about shaking off rejection, negativity, and any burdens that may weigh us down. It's about forgiving completely and not allowing the opinions of others to impact our mission. When Jesus advised his disciples to shake off the dust from their feet, he was encouraging them not to dwell on the rejection they might encounter. Instead, he was advising them to remain focused on their mission, spreading the good news. The act of shaking off the dust was a symbol of their commitment to move forward, unburdened and unhindered by negativity or rejection. But even more than that, it's a lesson in humility and persistence. Jesus was reminding his disciples that their role was to deliver the message. Whether or not that message was received was not within their control. Their responsibility was to share the good news, and if it was rejected, they were to shake off the dust and move on. This verse serves as a reminder that not everyone will accept or understand our message or ideas. And that's okay. It's not a reflection of our worth or the value of our message. It's simply a part of life. However, this verse also encourages us not to let these experiences discourage us. Instead, we are to let go of the negativity and continue to spread our message with a positive mindset. We are to shake off the dust from our feet and continue on our journey, unburdened by the rejection or negativity we may have encountered. So in essence, this verse is more than just a symbolic gesture. It's a call to resilience, to forgiveness, and to positivity. It's a call to stay focused on our mission, despite the challenges we may face. Shake off the dust. It's a call to continue the mission with a positive mindset. Yet, there's an even more profound spiritual depth to this verse. It's not just about shaking off rejection and moving forward, it's about the spiritual journey that our feet, symbolic carriers of our faith, undertake. In the Bible, feet have a profound spiritual significance. They are not just physical appendages, but also bearers of the good news. As mentioned in Isaiah chapter 52, verse 7, "How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news." This reference to feet illustrates the blessedness of those who spread the gospel. Feet also make an appearance in the New Testament, in the context of the armor of God. In his letter to the Ephesians, St. Paul speaks of the shoes of the gospel of peace. These aren't just ordinary shoes. They are spiritual footwear, providing protection and guidance as we navigate the rocky terrains of life. This spiritual footwear is covered by the gospel of peace. It's a shield against the adversities we may face while carrying out our mission. It's a reminder that despite the challenges, we are on a path of peace, spreading the message of love and unity. The symbolism of feet in the Bible doesn't end there. It's also about humility and servitude. Think about the act of washing feet, an ultimate symbol of humility and service, as Jesus showed when he washed his disciples' feet. All these connections paint a picture of our spiritual journey. Our feet, carrying the weight of our bodies, mirror our spiritual walk. They bear the burden of our mission, tread paths of resistance, yet remain covered by the gospel of peace. So, when we think about the verse in Matthew, it's not just about shaking off the dust. It's about understanding our spiritual journey, recognizing the significance of our feet in this journey and the peace that shields us as we carry the good news. Our feet, covered by the gospel of peace, carry the good news. Taking off one's shoes also carries a significant meaning in the Bible. Let's delve into the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 5. Here we find Moses standing on Mount Horeb, the mountain of God. A divine voice from a burning bush calls out to him, instructing him to remove his shoes, for the place where he is standing is holy ground. But there's more to this command than first meets the eye. This act of taking off one's shoes symbolizes laying aside one's preconceptions and self-image. Let's take a closer look. Moses, at this point, had been living with a burden of failure. He had once tried to save his fellow Hebrews from their Egyptian oppressors, but his attempt ended in bloodshed, causing him to flee in fear and shame. Now, standing before God, he was likely still haunted by this past failure, struggling with a negative self-image. The command to remove his shoes was a call to let go of this baggage, to discard his old self-perceptions. It was a symbolic act of humility and readiness to be led by God, to be shaped and used for his divine purpose. But it goes deeper still. Moses was also asked to lay aside his conceptions about God. He was standing in the presence of the Almighty, the one who is beyond our comprehension. Our human understanding, our preconceived notions, are like dusty shoes that can obscure the true radiance of his divine reality. By removing his shoes, Moses was stepping out of his own understanding and into the revelation of God. It was an invitation to experience God in a new, profound way, unfiltered by his past experiences or preconceived ideas. The lesson here is clear. Like Moses, we are called to remove our own shoes of preconceptions, doubts, and fears. We are invited to approach God with an open heart and mind, ready to be guided by his wisdom and love. Taking off one's shoes, it's a call to change our thinking and understanding. From dusting feet to washing them, let's explore another powerful symbolism. We journey now to the 13th chapter of the Gospel of John, where a profound event takes place. Here, Jesus, the teacher and leader, humbles himself and takes on the role of a servant. He washes his disciples' feet, an act usually reserved for the lowest of servants. But this act was far from a simple display of humility. This act of Jesus washing his disciples' feet was symbolic on many levels. In the physical sense, it represented the removal of the dust and dirt accumulated from their travels, a cleansing of the old to make way for the new. But more than just a physical cleansing, this act signified the dusting off of misconceptions and misunderstandings the disciples might have had about Jesus and his kingdom. In this intimate act, Jesus was imparting a fresh understanding, a new perspective. He was preparing them for the deep and powerful teachings that were to follow, teachings that would shape their lives and the lives of many others for generations to come. The act of washing his disciples' feet was Jesus' way of saying, let's clear away the old, the misunderstood, the misconceptions. Let's start anew. Let's understand my kingdom, not as you perceive it to be, but as it truly is. It was a call to renew their knowledge and understanding of him and his kingdom. And just as Jesus washed the feet of his disciples, he washes away our misconceptions and misunderstandings, inviting us to a deeper understanding of his kingdom. He calls us to lay aside our old perceptions and to be open to new understandings. In the act of washing his disciples' feet, Jesus was teaching a powerful lesson, one that transcends time and is as relevant today as it was over 2,000 years ago. It is a call to humility, to service, and to a deeper understanding of his kingdom. Washing of feet, it's a call to renew our knowledge and understanding of him and his kingdom. So, what does all this mean for us today? It calls us to the profound significance of shaking off the dust from our feet, a symbol of releasing negativity and the burden of rejection. It beckons us deeper, to understand the spiritual depth of this verse, reminding us of the beautiful feet that bring good news. Remember, shake off the dust, take off your shoes, and allow your feet to be washed. Embrace the good news with a renewed understanding and continue your mission with positivity and peace.